City Council Chambers, September 13th, 2023. Start with pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The roll call.
Alderman Carr.
Here.
Alderman Roll. Alderman Johnson.
Here.
Alderman Montoya. Alderman Rita.
Here.
Alderman Fairwell. Alderman McGee.
Present.
Ian Sawyer.
All right, moving on, we need a motion to approve the minutes, the committee hall meeting on August 9th, 2023. Motion. Alderman Carr, Alderman Lee, no question. What do we do? Roll call.
Alderman Carr.
Aye.
Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Rita.
Aye.
Alderman McGee.
Aye.
Four ayes, ready.
Thank you. Motion carries. Public comments? Public comments?
Good evening, everyone. Dennis Seaman, 2224 Union Street. Thank you for being here. Your work is very important.
Next one.
It is, my opinion that the contract with, Commissioner disposal is not working out too well. And you, there's an ordinance that passed that was, supposed to support that contract. I received a summons from former state rep Robert Milano. And it says in here that, well, first of all, I manage the property, I don't know. It states in its summons. Every occupant of a structure shall dispose of garbage in a clean and sanitary manner by placing such garbage in an approved garbage disposal facility or approved garbage containers. Okay. You know, I think we need the city to have these hearings on Saturday. So residents don't have to miss work, and then on top of it, they have to pay a fine. So on this day, I'll have to miss work, and I'll have to pay another fine. And someone stuck this in the door at that location. City of Rhode Island, corporate, when you 50 people, you didn't have this. Garbage, garbage, and everything. Same thing, same time. I thought in the past they would give you a warning, they wanted you to do something. Not issue a summons. It was kind of one of the same that was do something. And I was always try to do that, but so that is a good thing. Thank you for hearing me, and thanks for your article.
Any other public comment? Moving on, under new business, rental fees and city event spaces. I know our administrator has information on most of these things, but want to talk about it?
So, what we'd like to do is at the next meeting, bring an ordinance that would formalize fees and a general rental policy, specifically for the two city properties of the John D. Reeder Rec Center and the Meadows Golf Course. We've been getting a lot of requests, and especially as we've been investing some more resources in both of those facilities, we've been getting a lot of requests for rentals. There has never really been there is a semi-formal rental process at the golf park, and our new supervisor of golf has been getting that under control, and but inherited is sort of what I would call a back of the envelope system, not very formal. We don't really have formalized policies around rentals. All of this is pretty evident. We can cut the case some of these park districts and other municipalities. Our own park district has a pretty modern, pretty recent policy they adopted on rentals and fees, and the fees will be made pretty comparative. The administration, the mayor, et cetera, would have the ability to waive fees for community groups, nonprofits, things like that, the events that we want to. All that would be outlined. We'd be happy to take some feedback on what we think reasonable fees would be. If we want in town and out of town resident fees, non-resident fees, the park district does that, I know with programs. But I know there's all the jobs, it's also, had a lot of conversations about formalizing this so that we can, and the rec center as well, we have a lot of youth groups. That, could be, that want to use the rec center lines in different ways, and we think we can. Get more use out of it, make it a better asset in the community if we had a better formalized policy in place. The golf course would be probably a little bit more of a revenue generator, offset cost there and help the bottom line. Golf course, rec center, maybe a little bit less revenue for community based and community organizations. These spaces are very much in demand, so I think making them available to the public would be not a lot. That's the general approach.
And they're in, ask for a moratorium, it's a long process, one of these things, like liability insurance, any of that stuff. So hopefully it's only for a few weeks, but we're not gonna do any rent. Next, moving on to the tree ordinance, the attorney.
So the tree ordinance was drafted in conjunction with the Forestry Board and Mr. Schroeder, in addition to Morgan Arboretum, who is providing the city with a grant that was applied for by that Urban Forestry Board. This ordinance, we just found out today or yesterday, meets the requirements of the grant. It has been reviewed by Morton Arboretum, the Urban Forestry Board, Mr. Schroeder, and myself. And it basically just defines what we are going to be doing with the city's trees from this point forward. Alderman Fairwell couldn't be here today. He did send an email stating that he wanted 2 points addressed. The first, he wanted to see in the purpose and intent section, in addition to the language that we already have, another sentence or paragraph describing economic benefits of trees, which include retention of rainwater to reduce flooding, reduce air conditioning costs, blocking ultraviolet light, reduce pavement life, increase property values, and cleaner air. I see no problem in adding that at all, and I think that that would be fine as well with the person who's been reviewing it. His second point was we have previously discussed including provisions for permitting that would encourage the retention of historic and/or legacy trees on private property through an incentive fee structure. He did not see that in this draft. It is not in that draft. I did not put an incentive fee structure together. It wasn't something that was required. I don't recall having spoken about it, but I could talk to him more about that point when he gets back.
Yeah, you can speak with them a little bit about it. I don't think, just the language of trying to educate, if it's a heritage tree, a tree that's worth saving, you can't force a homeowner to cut a tree down or not cut a tree down on a private property, but some kind of language where we can have some kind of information given to them about the benefits of it. Incentivizing, I guess we can look at if there's any other towns doing anything like that. So if there's some simple language we can put in there, I'm not against it either. As long as it doesn't break the bank. Any questions?
I didn't quite understand. What is someone do? Incentive fees, did you say?
No, there's a big tree, let's say a big oak tree in your yard,
Mhm.
healthy, nothing wrong with it. And you just want to cut it down because you want to rake leaves. We can't stop you from doing that.
Right.
We can educate you, benefits not going to go down, or offer some kind of incentive not to go down. But we can't make it. Just like.
What was his request? I did not quite understand.
Exactly, request
He wants,
education, maybe some kind of incentive program to keep the tree, not cutting it down, if it's a healthy tree. They're all in questions, comments? Business license on inspection orders.
So basically what we're planning to do here, this is this is the first draft of this ordinance. Similar to other communities, what we want to do is combine our health inspections with our business licensing. So for instance, if you had owned a restaurant, when you pay for your business license renewal, you'll also pay for your health inspections for the year. This will make sure that health inspections are being done on a more regular basis, fees are collected up front, etc. I've worked with our health inspector, Ms. Wagner, on the draft of this ordinance. It codifies fees for these inspections, codifies how often certain businesses require health inspections and what the cost of those inspections will be. So basically, we're just trying to roll everything together into the business license, process. And we'd like to do it for the 2024 year, which is why we're putting it in front of you guys now. We're expecting it to be on the cow next month as well, and then ultimately pass it, at the end of October if it's in a place to do so.
It also makes it enforceable the 2022 food code now, which was the ordinance, so.
Correct.
Question?
Who actually came up with the fees?
So
The amounts?
I got the piece from Ms. Wagner, who did some comparable research with other municipalities and kind of based on her knowledge as health inspector.
So under vendor licenses and fines. Does this mean like, say Memorial Park for their barbecue, and you're gonna have be a vendor there, you have to get. And, or am I not reading this right?
It's their own jurisdiction, right?
Yeah, we don't,
We're done with businesses.
I misread it.
yeah, Memorial Park is part of our district, so they
Right.
probably have their own rules about what events they hold.
So is this for the city? Like for the vendors?
So say like Mayfest,
Yes, okay, very, very good, all right, thank you.
okay, so they
Each person
would,
has to.
the sponsor of Mayfest has to ensure that all of the vendors are properly licensed.
They do now, it's just more formal.
They do.
And each one would have to pay $50 for
So if
for the
if it-
inspection?
If an inspection is deemed necessary of the licenses that are provided, then it would be $50 per vendor inspection.
So then we'll do it on the side, just based on the-
Yeah, so I think what this will require is that the certificates be provided, and if there is a question as to any issues with the food vendor at one of those fests, then the health inspector has the authority to inspect it and get it done.
And this is up for, just for discussion, right?
Right. And like I said, it'll be up for discussion at next month's call as well. This is just your first introduction to it, and it's a lengthy ordinance, so I wanted to give it to you guys, with enough time to look at it, provide comments.
Do we know if the fees are like comparable to others surrounding to the area?
I did do my own research with that as well, correct?
Well, she said she pulled all the from this. More information with you.
Right, which towns she pulled it from?
Yeah. Any other questions? Non-retiree health.
Okay, so this one, there is health renewal coming up within the city for employees and retirees. After going through all the ordinances, we talked about this last year, there's 4 or 5 different ordinances that talk about retiree health care. So what we did is put an ordinance together that clarifies what each of those ordinances said, so that we have something that we can easily point to begin implementing retiree health care insurance costs in accordance with what our ordinances have required. So this basically summarizes the laws that are already in place.
Questions?
This is an entirely new section of code that would be added.
No, it's just a law, it would not be codified. Similar to the other ordinances passed by the city in 1990, 2011, and 2014.
It combines everything in one.
It just puts it all together and provides a comprehensive summary of what retiree health insurance should look like.
Any questions? Yes.
So I thought the last ordinance we did for the retiree, but I might not be remembering correctly. Because it's long ago.
We did,
When did you say it was?
The last one, I saw that it's applicable in 2014. There may have been something in 2015 that referenced it, but 2014 is the last real ordinance on retiring health insurance and required contributions. And it's 15% from the retirees.
That we did one more recently. But I,
We discussed this last year, but we never implemented it.
about maybe 4 years ago,
This is the one you're thinking of. The last one was done was 2014. We discussed this.
and I thought that was odd, but it didn't.
No, we didn't,
You know what I mean? Like,
We didn't have to revise anything. It's already in the law.
we thought the 2014 revised it.
it was,
Based on everything that we
Anastasia
went
was
through.
here then.
It's the same one we're talking. That's the last one.
Okay, thanks for reminding me.
Mayor's announcements, talked last night again, I want to thank everybody for Labor Day stuff, and also my city clerk, and I thank her that night, but I thank her again, she did a lot of work for office, getting everybody lined up. I make sure I point that out, so I appreciate it. We'll move on to the city clerk.
Review some of the things I have from last night. Save the date, October 7th. We have two things going on. We have the health fair and we have the green on driving range. September 16th is Blue Isle Library is having a Hispanic Heritage Celebration from 10 to 3. Saturday, September 16th, Eisenhower Alumni Golf Outing is in the softball. Now, September 17th, we've got a lot going on. St. Mary's Magdalene is having a blue bass at 3 o'clock. Blue bass is to honor all the first responders, past and present members of the armed forces. The mass provides an opportunity for the community to recognize and thank the men and women who have placed their lives in danger to protect our society and neighborhood. Please invite family members and friends to join the celebration. Refreshments will be stressed. Refreshments will be served. September 17th, the 1-year anniversary for the Pentecostal Church in Blue Island across from the library, and their celebration is at 2:30. September 17th, the Pat Blessing at Mission Covenant Church. September 24th is the Blue Bridge 5K run and walk. It's actually to take part. There's short few runners for their making their goal. So I think I'm signing up tonight. So I hope everyone joins me and signs up for the 5K walk and run. Afterwards, they will also have several vendors and that, you know, a little celebration of music. So other than that, it's all I've got.
I also want to announce that Hillhouse is doing a minor expansion onto Old Western Avenue, where they already own the secondary building already on Old Western and their main campus on Canal Street. And there was a house in between that they just closed on, and the plan to remodel and renovate this one of the, I think, if not the oldest house in Blue Island in 1834. And so it's good news for that little section there. It's kind of making like a park-like setting because obviously Maple Tree doesn't exist. That's just an empty lot. And it's the house right next to that. And it's going to tie it all together. So they will work with supporters for lateral elevation in town, and they're doing a little expansion. I just want to acknowledge that it's very, I think that city that they're. And see attorney,
No report to you.
administrator. Alderman.
Yes, I just wanted to let the city know that the fireworks show that was, the Labor Day was, hey, it was outstanding. The funnel cake, I picked up a few pounds with that. But I really enjoyed myself and the atmosphere, of the event as well. I hope we do it again.
July 4th is right now.
Well, you know, we could do it again, Mayor. For
Like
Labor
about
Day.
during appropriations.
Okay.
I know Alderman Rita had a, I'm sorry, I just missed that. You want to talk about parking?
Yes, I didn't see it on the agenda, so I
Right.
I don't feel prepared.
I'll push it to that.
Okay, thanks.
Any other Alderman? Got the short executive. Sure. Information. So, motion to go executive. Roll call, Vengus, and Alderman Rita, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
We discussed litigation in executive session, and that's it. Is there a motion to adjourn? Motion by Rita, second by Johnson, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
All right. Have a good evening, everyone.
Good evening, everybody.
Do you want to have a football practice October 7th? Is that right?
You want me to have it there?
I'm just saying, I guess.
You don't have